So are you a drug doing guy?
Used to.
Not
I used
anymore?
to do no.
Because you're a straight edge guy, right?
Yeah.
Straight edge guy. We both used to do like a lot of psychedelics and just sort of got older and now they're scary. So it's like
I feel you, right?
but like when you're 19, you're like, I am fucking
I'm expanding my
invincible.
mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're just like, no, you're just watching Ren and Stimpy for 12 hours.
Truth.
Yeah.
Listen to this man. This is truth. Because I mean, I never experimented with that stuff, but there's a part of me, and I'm not straight edge guy either, right? But it's like, but there's a part of me that's like, the last few times when I ever did anything was like, I started getting scared that I wouldn't come back to whatever normal meant, and I went, I don't want to feel like I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. It wasn't 12 hours of Ren and Stimpy for me, even though that I've watched plenty of Seinfelds for that long without drugs.
Yeah.
You know, to think that I've wasted 12 hours of my life, but it's an interesting time to get to that decision to, I don't know, maybe grow up. Is that a fair phrase?
I would say, I don't know. It was something that I used to do a lot, and I was like, this is like my favorite thing in the world. Like, you know, you think that you're like getting all this out of it, like oh, the way I'm thinking, the things coming up with, it was like, you know, you're not really doing anything. You're just like, I laid under someone's bed and kissed the bed frame and decided it was a sentient thing that I was in love with. Like, we listened to a Dungeons and Dragons music soundtrack on repeat for 9 hours in a juggalo's apartment. Like, yeah.
I love you
Really
for that. I
opening
love
the
you
door.
for saying that, right? I love that.
I mean, that's sort of the reality of those kinds of things. Like, I don't smoke weed or anything anymore, and we have roommates that are like younger than us, and like it's all they fucking
They
do.
are destroying themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll be fine.
Yeah.
They'll develop a panic disorder in their mid-20s, and
Is that what it is? So that's what I discovered was some sort of, even though it was a mild panic disorder, I kind of went, if I'm not coming back, I don't want to go here anymore.
That's
right?
sort of why I quit. I was like, I fucking freak out really bad now if I get high, so it's not fun.
And it must be easy though, especially if you're in a small confined space where everybody's smoking, right? I mean, I'm talking about at a show.
Yeah.
You sort of get that secondhand smoke high.
There's not a lot of weed smoke at house shows, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Every now and then, it depends on where you are. You get to the weird, like,
California.
college towns, or Canada and California, where people just smoke weed everywhere.
Yeah, it was generally. We've been all doing this for a really long time, so the people, when we do house shows, it's people who just do not fuck around. And that's have a ton of people smoking weed or just like 14-year-olds drinking 40s on the lawn. That's how stuff gets shut down.
Yeah.
So generally, like today, there'll be just no alcohol because that's how the cops get called.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's something you run into less and less, you know.
So how were you? I'm saying I know straight edge is such a weird phrase, but I'm just saying it. You've been that way your whole life.
25 years, yeah.
And that's a sort. I mean, was there a decision point when somebody said, "Okay, come on, dude, you got to just smoke this with us," or whatever? And that's the way it happens, right? Come on, dude, you got to just smoke this with us, just like I said it. No, but you know what I mean? It's like obviously, and because people, that's what happens. The dark side is over there going, "Please come over here and do ecstasy with me."
Yeah, I guess I have a very high tolerance for like stress and bullshit, and I still like break down a lot. And I think my mom and dad would be really stoked if I fucking would have a beer with them or even smoked weed, but I disappoint them time and time again.
Disappoint them by getting a college degree, never doing drugs, and becoming an engineer.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I don't know, music a lot. It's like interesting, like talking to people and like, when I like freak out, I just, I have like a beer or whatever. When I like freak out, I was freaking out the other night and I put on an Emperor X record and listened to the same song 6 times. So, and like that's very like soothing. Music has always been like the thing that calms me down and like helps me get through a lot of stuff. And that's, I think, has a lot to do with why I'm like here now, And I guess like as you get older, like these things like have. Music may not have as big of a huge impact on me as I was 16, but that's one of the cool things of like what we do is I see like a 16-year-old come to one of our shows and is like fucking like, we are his everything, and that's like fucking like wildly inspiring, So that's cool. And I'm like, I am the band. Like, it's cool to be like, I'm like doing the same thing that like my favorite bands did for me when I was like that age. So it's cool. And like people always like, I guess there are a lot of people who are like, we had this dude who spoken word for us, and he like recently did an interview, and he like worded it better than like I ever could or like even could think of. But like that's we're all like older, and I'd say probably a lot of people that like our band are like in their late teens or like early 20s. And people like often like, well, I want to like be playing to a crowd that's like my age or whatever. But like in a lot of ways, I think that none of us are like dissatisfied that like even though the crowd is younger than we are, it's like that's really the age when music means the most to you. And like I said, some of these kids would fucking they'll fucking like die for this band.
Are you gonna answer his question?
I don't even remember. I realized as I was talking like when it was off.
I think you started talking about.
I will not do drugs.
How you don't really need that.
No, I
as
don't.
Like
I don't.
as like a release, you don't need to.
I
get
don't.
drunk.
I don't need it, and that it comes a lot from when I was younger. It was like my release was music, and that's where I found it. And yeah, I don't know.
What I think is interesting is that there are people who you make that decision when you are in awe or inspired by what's happening around you, and other people are like, the same stuff happens, and they're like, you got to give me a drink because I am really going to toast this up right now because of the exact same things that happen. It's just sort of like somewhere inside you, because like you said, your parents would be stoked. And I think that is the most hilarious thing that's ever been said into this microphone.
They would have really liked it if I just didn't find that Minor Threat record when I was 15. But they only played Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, so that was their own goddamn fault. I would have found something else cool, but had to go find it myself. So
it's so much. I mean, I read the Neil Young autobiography, and he, most of it was like, if that's the way you found more of yourself is if you did drugs, right? And it's like, so I almost don't blame them for living in that world of like, let's drink and do drugs and find more of ourselves, because that was the message of the day, I think. At least that's what I got from.
Interesting too, because there's that one Neil Young song, "Needle and the Damage Done," where like it's like so that's happening, and then he's like sees like one of the dudes in a Crazy Horse fucking destroy himself because of it, and that's like another thing I see like a lot of people just get caught up in that, and that's like the only way they have fun. And a lot of people say I don't have fun, but I guess it's like the way I have fun is like being productive and getting things done. So like that. Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
I can imagine that having never drank, like a big deterrent is being around drunk people while you're sober, because that is the most exhausting and obnoxious thing in the world.
We did this tour with a band called Finch, and at the end of every night, they would give everyone in our band all the alcohol, and there's another dude in my band who's straight edge, Chris. So basically, it'd be like 2 a.m. We went back to like Philadelphia to stay like every night, and so it'd be us driving the drunk bus home, and it was just ridiculous. Like everyone was just so loud. Like the first hour, everyone would just be like screaming, and then everyone passed out. So yeah, exactly. Just everyone was dead like an hour into the drive, but the first hour was just so wildly. Everyone was like just fourth grade drunk. Yeah. So
there was something someone said on the from the band Self Defense Family on their website. He said he can't stand anyone who's loud but not funny,
and that's why he doesn't. That's why he's straight edge.
Nice. Yeah, I'll give you that, man. It's no fun being around people who are wasted all the time. Or not all the time, but just when they're wasted. It's like, because they think I'm not having fun, but it's like I can have fun when I'm not wasted. And they can't. Because somehow they feel like they release, I don't know, some inner thing that is all built up.
I guess like that was probably like more my mindset when I was younger. I really honestly just don't give a shit right now. I don't care if people are like drunk or whatever. I think when you're like a little fucking 14-year-old straight edge warrior, like you're like, I don't want to be around people who are drunk. But it's like everyone, I don't really have a problem with it anymore. You just kind of fucking get by. And I'm like saying like, oh, we had to like drive the drunk bus. That really actually wasn't a problem at all. It honestly, just kind of, it's more of an observation in my head. I'm like, this is funny. And it was just every night it was like everyone just got so trashed, because it was like this band was like, take all of this, we don't need it. So also it's funny because one night my girlfriend came to the show in Philly, and she drank like 7 of the beers, and everyone got so pissed at her. And she's also so tiny, so she got so drunk and actually locked me in a bathroom for like an hour and just like gushed me. It was very cute. I liked it. So I was just talking to her about the other night. She's like, I don't remember any of that. So
what I think is funny, especially when I talk to like, and I'll just say older rock stars, but even older people who, they will laugh hysterically at how stupid they were. And I always think, just even like there, it's like we have to laugh at that kind of thing. And I'm going like, you're kind of an ass then, right? I mean, it's weird. So anyway, I digress from this record because that's really why we have microphones, right? Sorry, dude.